Oh, it's visionary. Oh, it's visionary. It's visionary life. I work for Jesus Christ. It's visionary life. I work for Jesus Christ. I know he paid the price. I know he paid the price. His name is Jesus Christ. It's visionary life, 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 ministry, 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 ministry.
I have a question that I would like to ask you today. Have you been stripped yet? Have you been stripped? And somebody may say, what do you mean? Have I been stripped yet? Well, have you been stripped by the Heavenly Father? See, I want you to think about when you're being stripped. That means you're stripped away from nothing. You no longer have nothing. And when I think about being stripped by God, he strips us away from things that don't represent him. See, I meet a lot of people and people say, I have been stripped by God. I have been broken by God. I have been made new by God. So I ask you the question today, have you been totally stripped by God? Now, I want you to think about it now. Because see, when you've been stripped by God, that just means that you no longer live the same life that you lived before. When you've been stripped by God, you no longer want to do the same things that you used to do before. You don't want to talk the same. You can't dress the same, and you just can't live the same. I want you to think about your life. Can you truly say that I have been stripped by God? See, some people say they've been stripped by God, but it's amazing that they don't care the way they treat people. They say they've been stripped by God, but it's amazing that they still dress the same. They still talk the same, and they still live the same. See, something that we have to know about the Heavenly Father, he doesn't do a half job. And see, when God strips you to make you whole, to make you a new creation from him, he doesn't strip you and leave some things on you. See, if God comes to strip you, he doesn't strip you, but then he says, you know what? I'm going to continue to let them talk nasty. After he strips you and says, you know what? They can still cuss. They can still hold that unforgiveness in their heart. I'm going to strip them of this, but I'm still going to allow them to dress any way that they want to dress. I'm still going to allow them to wear the short clothes, the very scantily clad clothes, but I'm going to leave them with this, and I'm going to take this away. God doesn't work that way. See, like I said, you still have people saying that they have been stripped by God. They say they've been stripped by holy God, but they don't care how they talk to people. They don't care how they live their life. They've been stripped by God, but they still want to gamble. They still want to smoke. They still want to cheat on their spouses. They still want to beat on their spouses, but they say they've been stripped by God. I want you to think about your life on the day. Can you truly say you've been stripped by God? And no, it doesn't feel good being stripped by God, but it's all for your good when it's said and done. Overlook your life. Ask yourself the question, have you been stripped by God, or is it time for you to be stripped by God? See, is it time for you to go to God and say, God, I'm ready to surrender to you. I'm ready to live for you. I'm ready to do what I have to do for you. Right now, I want you to think about your life. What is it in your life that you can think of that you need to be stripped of? What bad habits? Maybe it's you being in a bad relationship. It could be a same-sex relationship. It could be you dealing with people that you don't need to deal with, going places that you don't need to go. What is it today in your life that you need to say, I need to be stripped from? I want you to think about it now. Do you need to be stripped from going to the strip club? Do you need to be stripped from paying for sex, selling your body for sex? What do you need to be stripped from? Is it the way that you talk? Is it that foul mouth? Could it be the way you dress? Could it be the way you treat people? Could it be that unforgiveness in your heart? Could it be that hate in your heart? Could it be those drugs you take, the drugs you smoke, the liquor you drink? What is it on today? Could it be stealing? Could it be killing? What is it today that you need to be stripped from? What is it? I want you to think about it now. And today is the day. Go to God while you have the breath in your body right now. Go to God and start to seek God so you can be stripped by the true and living God. Because see, when you be stripped by God, you can never be the same. You're going to change, and you don't want to walk the same, talk the same. You don't want to live the same. You don't want to do the same thing that you used to do 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And if the Heavenly Father stripped you, you don't want to do the same things that you did a day ago. I want you to think about it on today. Have you been stripped yet? And if you haven't, today is the day to go to God and say, God, I'm ready to be stripped by you so I can be used by you. So when my eyes close, I know I'll be greeted by you. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination. And Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.